channel.
Hey, you know what time it is, No Press fam? Welcome everyone to another episode of Beatdown, the segment and channel where two worlds collide. I am your host, Class, and this is my co-host, Biggs. Doing it big, baby, and keeping it 100 subs. And if you guys enjoy our content, you know what you can do. You can share, you can like, you can subscribe, or you can turn on your notifications to get the latest episodes, which we put out every week. Alright, special shout out to J.O. for recommending this one to us. And yeah, this is the first time we've ever done something like this, because normally we do opposing sides from different comics. But this time we're doing one in the same comic brand. So obviously Marvel. So I'll start things off by representing Marvel Comics Bullseye. Alright, let's get into the brief origin story of Bullseye. So, surprisingly, Bullseye's story is kind of like DC Comics' Joker story, which is not exactly an origin story. He doesn't really have a exact origin story. Supposedly, he had made up his origin story. There was a story where he was a kid and he was with his brother and he was pretty good at shooting things. He hit a bird with a yo-yo. That's when he knew. And then he knew he loved what he did the moment he took out a kid's life while he was playing baseball in the baseball major league or whatever. And when he took him out just for like scuffing at him or kind of like telling him, oh, what, you can't hang. He just took him out for that reason. And then he decided, you know, I have a taste for this and I think I want to keep doing stuff like this. And then he became like an assassin, but don't call him an assassin. At least that's what I hear. So that's kind of the brief origin story of Bullseye. But there, again, he's even stated in the comics that what he's made up some parts of his origins or parts of his past. So there's no real guarantee that that's legit. Alright, powers, abilities, and feats. Let's get into it, guys. Enhanced durability. Olympic physical conditioning. Expert acrobat. That's impressive. Master martial artist. Master marksman. And weapons proficiency. 1 point possessed a weapon called, I believe this is what it's called, Dragonlance, which came from a fallen Valkyrie, granting him a godly-like weapon to complement his skills. Let's keep that in mind. Body is covered in a plate of adamantium, and most of it is covered on his fists and his head. Yeah, you don't want to get into a bare knuckle fight with that guy. If you guys haven't seen the first X-Men live action movie, you should. Wolverine shows what adamantium could do to a person's face and arms and hands as well. His brain functionality is much greater, giving him the skill to think extremely quickly given any situation. He can, like, so pretty much he's super intelligent. Like, he can really think on his feet incredibly fast. Throws objects at 105 miles per hour. Stopped a moving motorcycle with his bare hands. Keep that in mind. Knocked down Juggernaut with a punch. That ain't easy to do. Took down a teleporter with a gun. Okay, predicting his next spot to teleport. Yeah, he actually did defeat Deadpool at some point. Not like obviously eliminate him, but he did defeat him. Punisher was throwing a grenade. This one's the most pressing thing I thought I heard about. Punisher was throwing a grenade, and Bullseye managed to aim a pin. The pin where the grenade was taken off, he managed to aim a pin right into the slot so it wouldn't blow up right before it could take off. Could you believe that? Could you believe that speed and precision? How much focus and how much speed you have to have in order to be able to nail that? That precision is incredible. It's already the most impressive feat here. Alright, so the end game to this battle. Bullseye. So Taskmaster, let's get real. Taskmaster has to be able to duplicate something. He takes time to duplicate things. He's not like, he's fast, but he also has to see the technique. He has to see your fighting style in order to be able to mimic it. So I do believe for Bullseye's sake, he might want to keep high ground, maybe keep from a distance, and probably hide himself as he's throwing those precision shots of, you know, physics shots right at him, because I think that's the best way to do it. Being able to throw some physics shots right at him, maybe hit it from the back or from the front, because I don't believe Taskmaster will be able to counter those moves unless he does it frequently, like the same predictable tactic move of physics. Then I do believe Taskmaster will overpower him or overtake him on that. But for the time being, let's just say that I do believe Bullseye will be able to, from a distance and from hidden cover, be able to kind of counter any attacks or be able to take direct hits to Taskmaster without Taskmaster being able to mimic his moves or being able to counter maneuver his moves. Okay, so I'll make two arguments for Bullseye on this one for weapons wise. The godly weapon that he got from the Valkyrie, there is a possibility he could use that to really put Taskmaster out. There's no way Taskmaster is stronger than a godly weapon. So there is that argument. And then there is the other argument where Bullseye can make any object, anything into a weapon. Okay, toothpick, paper plane, an airplane, something made out of paper, something made out of a tiny little glass, a little pen, anything. He could throw anything at 105 miles per hour at him and aim it at him with precision, and even do it in a physics way. So I do believe that he will figure out a way to kind of just bounce any of the objects right at him or aim it at him too quick enough where Taskmaster won't be able to counter it or be able to dodge it and will take a hit or a deadly blow. And again, like I said, there is a godly weapon for sure. He wouldn't be able to get through that. Alright, so let's say they get close to each other, up close. I do believe Bullseye's best way to finish this is quickly, because obviously Taskmaster will be able to learn and mimic his moves at some point. But again, Bullseye still has a few tricks up his sleeve, which is the bare knuckle hands he has that are made out of adamantium, and his head is made out of adamantium. That comes in handy because let's say he wanted to headbutt Taskmaster to disorient his brain. Taskmaster does have an issue with his head in a way where he can't absorb a lot of information, because if he absorbs too much, he starts forgetting parts of his past and all that. So I do believe in that way Bullseye could hurt him and put the beating on him. He could also kind of use his bare knuckle adamantium knuckles to hit him hard enough where he might put him down without Taskmaster seeing it coming. But it has to be the element of surprise. He can't know that he has those bare knuckle hands or the head for the time being. He's just going to have to keep the fight interesting till he can get that opportunity to hit him with that direct blow. But not too long. Like I said, it's got to be a quick one. I do believe the adamantium armor around him is going to help him from getting a direct hit from Taskmaster. I don't believe Taskmaster has anything in his arsenal to be able to penetrate adamantium armor. So let's just get real with that. You have to have a godly weapon, and Bullseye has more of a godly weapon than Taskmaster in this situation. But let's put all the facts together. For Bullseye to really win this, range is his good friend. He has obviously the adamantium defense. He can use anything as a weapon, even his own personal guns. He's really good with a gun. Taskmaster is still human regardless in this situation, even if he is skillful. If he can just get one physical precision shot in a quick notice without Taskmaster being able to mimic it, or maybe be the first shot that he gets at him, it would be an end game on that one. I do believe Bullseye does have that ability to do so. And yeah, so he has the armor, he has the range, he has the distance. If he finds cover, if he keeps Taskmaster from being able to see what he's doing or being able to see, duplicate and imitate his moves, I do believe Bullseye will be able to use the physics to be able to bounce a weapon off or distract Taskmaster for one moment. Then Bullseye will get that hit that he needs to, that open shot, and then game over, and Bullseye will be saying, "Bullseye." And I'll be representing Marvel Comics Taskmaster. Alright, brief origin story time. Let's get into it. So, this one's an interesting one. It starts off with some kid at an institute freaking out, fearing for his life. You know, the Avengers were kind of like, okay, that's a little bizarre. But, you know, the institute told him, don't worry, we're going to take care of him. He's fine. Eventually, Wasp kind of gets a little more suspicious and decides to kind of further investigate the situation. Finds out later on that it's a front for actually training henchmen. So she gets captured by these people, and the Avengers actually come and get her. Now they try to put this place down, and they get stopped by the big baddie himself, who happens to be Taskmaster, who actually did pretty well, holding his own against the Avengers at their first encounter. And the only real reason he even lost was because there was an Avenger who showed up. I believe she was an Avenger who showed up, and he hadn't learned anything about this character. But if he had known who this person was, he would have been able to defeat the Avengers hands down in this situation. But yeah, that's the brief origin story of Taskmaster, or Tony Masters, aka Taskmaster. Alright, powers, abilities, and feats. Artificially enhanced physiology, photographic reflexes, photographic memory by the way, physical movement prediction, superhuman agility, superhuman reflexes, superhuman speed, master martial artist, master tactician, weapon mastery, master marksman, and a master assassin. The characters he has copied or he has learned because of thanks to Shield's profiling. This is where things are going to get a little dicey for my man Bullseye, or for the boy Bullseye. You got Captain America. He's also learned the fighting styles of Bullseye himself. Daredevil, Destroyer, Elektra, Deadpool, Hawkeye, Iron Fist, Moon Knight, the Punisher, Shang-Chi, Wolverine, and the Winter Soldier himself. Okay, here's all his gadgets and weapons. Taskmaster's suit. Tony's wears a specialized armor suit designed with some level of protection. Taskmaster's mask. He wears this to protect his. It's like protect the skull mask that serves for identity concealment, and the mask also has the technology to build in that allows Tony to resist telepathic and physic attack. Yeah, physic attacks. So I'm guessing they mean physics by physics attack, meaning like any kind of moves that like a ball getting bounced off and hits him from the back of the head. Yeah, Taskmaster would be able to counter that. Energy shield. This one's interesting. Has at times been known to use a wrist device stolen from Shield, which created weapons out of pure energy. Energy webbing. He can mimic Spider-Man's webbing. Shield to mimic Captain America's shield. He has a katana sword. He has a bow and arrow, trick and arrows. Sometimes he uses the trick and arrows like Hawkeye. He has a sword, obviously. Moon-shaped shuriken, which mimics Moon Knight. Sorry, a billy club, which mimics Daredevil, and firearms, of course. End game, guys. Long run, Taskmaster. Long fight, long battle. Taskmaster has this in the bag. Come on, guys. Eventually, he will learn your moves. Eventually, he will be able to predict the outcome of what you're going to do. He's going to foresee it. He's going to be able to copy it. He's going to be able to figure a way out of it. Eventually, Bullseye might be smart, but someone who can imitate your moves at a photographic memory at some point is going to give, especially if it's a elongated fight. Yeah, I do see Taskmaster taking him out for sure in this way. Now, up close, Taskmaster, let's get real, probably has this in the bag a little bit more. Maybe Bullseye is super smart and may be able to adapt fastly, but Taskmaster can mimic moves. Eventually, he'll probably be able to figure out that he has adamantium in his head. But let's get real. Remember, he has his profile, so he already knows what he possesses on his body. So he probably has a strategy for that. Bleed the guy out. You can still cut an artery or anything like that, or you can still cut some of the parts of the skin and still let it bleed, and then still give Taskmaster the opportunity to kind of take him out in that way. He obviously cannot penetrate the adamantium armor unless he has adamantium himself, which Taskmaster does. I don't believe has that. He has an energy shield thingy, but he doesn't have any adamantium weaponry that I'm aware of. But if he can get one from, I don't know, from Bullseye, that'd probably come in handy. If he can get an adamantium weapon from Bullseye and like mimic him and get it out of his hand and then stab him with it, that would come in handy. His helmet will be able to prevent him from getting any one of those little tricks that Bullseye likes to do, bouncing things off with his physics tactics. He'll be able to counter maneuver those. He might even be able to take it back and bounce it back on Bullseye and have it go against him in his own way. Let's just get real with that. So there's that possibility. Alright, so how I think Taskmaster wins this for sure. Obviously already learning about his opponent. He knows what he possesses on him, so he knows what he needs to do in order to put him out. Best thing to do, obviously, is not to give Bullseye the range, so Taskmaster would have to find a place that would find cover, be able to keep him protected for a long period of time until Bullseye decides that he needs to get a closer look or get closer, so that way he could probably get his aim a little more precision or be able to find a way through the protective field or the protective wall that Taskmaster has made for himself. Now, the closer he gets, the more opportunity Taskmaster has here. Because he still has the shield, he still has a lot of things to protect him in a situation, so that way he can get close enough to Bullseye. Now, Bullseye and Taskmaster, that's the thing. Taskmaster wants Bullseye to get closer, because I do believe Taskmaster has his number in a one-on-one fight. Though, you know, Bullseye has acrobatic skills, Taskmaster has gone to the point of physical human peak position, where he's capable of doing a lot of things to a super soldier level. So I do believe, and I think he was injected with some kind of serum as well. So I do believe with all those things he possesses, getting a close fight with Bullseye would be the best way to do it. Just getting him to come over, which Bullseye will, because Bullseye is not afraid of a challenge. He's cocky himself, so I do believe he would get close enough and throw down with him because he doesn't think he has anything to fear. Taskmaster and him go at it for a long period of time. Eventually, Taskmaster will get the upper advantage, put the big man or put Bullseye out of commission, eliminate him, and yeah, it's Taskmaster for the win.
Air traffic in that thing?
As always, No Press fam, it's not up to me. It's not up to Biggs. It's up to you guys. So, if you guys like my argument, you know what you can do. You can hashtag Bullseye. And if you guys like my argument, you know what you can do. You can hashtag Taskmaster. And as always, No Press fam, we really appreciate you guys. Catch you guys later. Peace.